Hi guys, you're watching TransLadsUK. Today's topic is how I knew I was trans. When I was little, I was a tomboy, quite a big one, I suppose. I'd wear guys' clothes. Was always closely associated with the guys. My mom had some friends. And one of her best friends had a son, and we used to meet up quite a lot. I'd always go with this guy, and we'd like play Action Man and stuff, and play some PlayStation games and stuff. But this was when I was a kid, so yeah, we'd do like, I say typical guy stuff, but it was, I'm not being sexist, obviously. And my closer friends were either tomboyish or male, because I just associated better with them and their interests. I was never a kid that would go up to like a girl and talk about clothes or girl stuff. It just wasn't me. Especially like when things like Pokemon cards and Beyblade and stuff that came out. That was something I was into, and collecting things. It was never like Barbies or whatever. But yeah, I did think about what could have possibly contributed to that. Possibly the divorce of my parents when I was 5 years old. My dad left, and I only saw him once every fortnight. So of course there was no actual male figure in the house for a good few years, about 90% of the time, around me. And I felt almost obliged to take care of my mom and my sister. My sister was only 3 at the time. No, actually, scratch that, she was 2. And I did feel moral and a family obligation to look after my sister and make sure that my mom was okay, help my mom with things, make sure that my sister was alright and that she was happy. Whenever we'd like go to my dad's eventually, it would always be me and my sister, no one else. I'd make sure that she was okay. If she was upset, she'd come to me. I use the term loosely, but it was almost as if I'd taken the father figure, though in no way would I class myself as my sister's, like, guardian. I do like to look after her because she's my, like, blood sister, and even in the divorce, both my parents have remarried, both have had 2 stepchildren, and my dad actually had another child. None of them associated to me in any way. In my eyes, it doesn't feel, I don't have the same obligation. With my sister, if ever my sister and I fight, it's pretty bad. I always try to clear it up. If not, I just feel terrible. It's pretty bad, but that's one of the things that I think contributed to me being trans. And when I was a bit older, school wasn't a good time for me. Education wasn't a good time for me. It started believe it or not, it started way back in, like, nursery. I'd get picked on, just abused, basically. It was I was the prey, and it wasn't good. Through primary school, I was always called ugly, fat. Some things I don't want to mention, and it wasn't. It made me hate who I was and who I'd grown up to be. So I remember, even as a really small child, like 7, 8, I don't even know. I remember crying and wishing that I was somebody else because I hated it so much. I hated my body. I hated that I was being picked on so much and that people hated me. And I still have that desire. I still dislike my body. I'm a little bit more comfortable with it after being through therapy for depression, but it's always been a factor. And then, of course, just adding 2 and 2 together, the fact that I felt more comfortable with friends as a tomboy and with males, and the fact that I hated my body, it just sort of like meshed. Really, I don't know. In secondary school, especially, it got even worse with the bullying. I was actually physically attacked several times. The school claimed to be a 0% bullying policy school, whatever. 2 times I was attacked, and both times it was around my head. What they were trying to do, I don't know. I was actually threatened with a heavy duty stapler in graphics class. Bear in mind, this is not very long ago. It's a few years, yes, but it's 5 years, something like that. The school did nothing. I was forced to just sit back and let it happen. Because, God forbid, the school got bad press. And I think that it was also that physical attack that made me hate my body even more. It was like just fuel. And then, of course, as I got older, and I did get relationships, I did find myself I had a few male relationships when I was young. All of them rather took advantage. I wouldn't use the term desperate because I wasn't, but it seemed as almost they thought I was. So after a few times, I started making a bad connection with having a relationship with a guy, and a few years ago I said to myself that I wouldn't ever date a guy again, and I had one lesbian relationship, which didn't work, because she wasn't a very nice person, but that's another story. But as I've become more in tune with myself, as soon as I recognised I was trans, a lot of things started coming to light. I also realised that gender didn't mean that much to me. For a long time before I made the decision to be FTM, I was actually androgynous, and I still relate to that in a way, whether it's because I'm not that far into things like therapy with GIC, I don't know, but I've never felt right. And then as soon as a friend of mine came to me and said, "Oh, look at these another trans guy's videos," and it showed his journey through testosterone treatment, and it was like, I know what this guy's talking about. Is it me? And that's when I started going through like research and looking into this thing, and then it started clicking in my mind, and I went, I am FTM, I'm trans. And then I liked the idea of almost being given a second chance to be who I wanted to be. And yeah, I suppose that's why and how I found out I was trans. Just a whole load of crap just come together to make this like final ideal. I'm very certain that I am FTM, in case I didn't make that completely clear with the whole androgynous thing. I didn't want to identify with female anymore. That was the one thing, was that I couldn't call myself gender fluid because I don't like being classed as female. So it seemed the logical option. And I feel a lot more comfortable with myself now. Like being called by male pronouns, being called by my trans name. It's little things like on my college card, like I said in the first video, my college card says Adam on it. Everyone in college calls me Adam, and it makes me feel good. And when if I go down the street and I see someone, or someone sees me, and they make that connection and say like he or the male pronoun, it makes me feel good inside, and that's ultimately why I think I relate to like being male, becoming male. But yeah, there's a lot of things. Again, I always answer questions. So if you've got any questions or anything, just shove them in the comment section down there. If there's anything you guys want to ask, then just go for it. I'm more or less an open book. So yeah. Please like and subscribe, and watch the other guys' channels, because they're all worth it. Thanks, guys.